Hello, everyone. A very logical day to all of you. And yes, here we are again discussing the first editorial of the Indian Express, 9th of January. So, as you know, we'll be dealing with the extraction of the central idea. We'll see what is in the author's mind, what he has conveyed, and then, yes, we'll pick up a few words and discuss those words. Right? Okay. So, the Indian Express, 9th of January, promise of growth. That is the heading. So, while India will be among the fastest growing economies in the world, fault lines revealed by NSO data must be addressed. Must be addressed. The very first thing that the author gives as a title here is that yes, India is capable of doing many things. It is, or it is, no, will be the fastest growing economies in the world, but the fault lines are revealed and they must be addressed. तो जितनी गलतियां आइडेंटिफाई हो पाई हैं उसे एड्रेस किया जाएगा उसे केटर किया जाएगा उस पे काम किया जाएगा and then nobody is going to stop India from becoming the fastest growing economy. It is going to be. Right. Now, if we have understood this sentence, yes, now we need to understand the same points from the the paragraphs. So, Indian economy is expected to grow at 7% in 2022-23 as per the first advanced estimates of national income released by the NSO on Friday. This is marginally higher than the RBI's most recent assessment in the December Monetary Policy Committee meeting. The central bank had lowered its expectations of growth to 6.8%. RBI ने 6.8% किया, but then Indian economy is expected to grow. We can understand the word estimate, we can understand the word assessment because we have read two words here. First, while India will be among the fastest growing, future tense, right? Expected to grow, again a future tense. So we can understand what is the meaning of the word estimate and the meaning of the word assessment. That after a proper calculation or a guesswork, these figures are being given or stated. It is not the past data, it is a speculation about the future. इसका मतलब वो एक estimation है, एक guesswork है, calculation है that this is what is going to be. Right? So you can understand the use of this word estimate and the use of this word assessment, which means valuation, evaluation, calculation about something that is going to happen. So, considering that the economy grew by 9.7% in the first half of the financial year, April to September, the latest estimate implies that growth is likely to slow down. The economy grew and it is likely to slow down to 4.5% in the second half of the year as the base effect wanes. Now see, if it is going to come down, तो wanes का मतलब हमें पता चल गया ना, decline होना. Notwithstanding that, the full year growth estimate suggests that India will be one of the fastest growing economies in the world. So if it increased by 9.7% in the first half, and in the second half it decreased or it was slowed down to 4.5%, so on an average it is good. And on the basis of that calculation, on the basis of that average only, the author says that India is going to be one of the fastest growing economies in the world. Now, the disaggregated data, however, points towards several areas of concern. उसने बोल तो दिया कि आने वाले दिनों में India is going to shine. But then now comes the basic point of the author that see, he comes up with a warning. Warning in the sense that areas of concern, here you can see that he points out towards the areas of concern. One, private consumption is likely to contract in the second half of the year. While the pace of contraction is expected to be marginal, the slowdown in spending could be due to either the exhaustion of pent up demand or the lagged impact of a tighter monetary policy. Now, see, here he is giving us reasons. Here he gives you the point, right? और रीजन यहाँ पे किस चीज का दे रहा है वो कि यू हैव टू बी वेरी केयरफुल अबाउट these particular areas which need a little more consideration. Why and why is it actually slowing down? One thing, private consumption is reducing. Then the reason of why it is reduced because of the pent up demand, exhaustion of the pent up demand. Exhaustion का meaning हमें आता है something that is pent out. something that is almost finished, completed, depleting, ये exhaustion होता है ना, exhausted, tired, lack of energy, pent up demand, तो जितना demand था वो exhaust हो गया है. इसका मतलब पहले लोगों को जितना कुछ खरीदना था वो सब खरीद लिया. Now the demand is reduced. If the demand is reduced, the economic growth will of course be affected. So pent up demand, you can understand, pent up is something that is being accumulated, और जब एकदम से मार्केट खुलता है, अच्छा होता है, तो लोग खरीदना शुरू कर देते हैं. शुरू के 10 दिनों में बहुत कुछ खरीद लेते हैं और बाकी के कुछ दिनों में, now you understand it with the month wise only, so you'll see that in the first 10 to 12 days in the families also there would be a lot of buying and all. Then in the last few days they would not buy so many things. So if you consider it this way also, so pent up demand जो होता है वो accumulated demand होता है, जो कि यूज हो गया, खत्म हो गया डिमांड. अब आगे क्या होगा, तो डिमांड कम हो जाएगा. सो एग्जॉस्शन ऑफ द पेंट अप डिमांड और द लैग्ड इम्पैक्ट ऑफ अ टाइटर मॉनेटरी policy. He is giving you the reason of two. One, the demand got exhausted. Second, it was the impact of a tighter monetary policy. This is the first thing that he said, that private consumption is reducing. और फिर उसके reason दिए. Second, as per the estimates, exports are likely to grow at almost 12% in the second half of the year. This is at odds with the recent data which show that export growth has actually slowed down considerably as advanced economies have come under pressure. Estimates बता रहे हैं that the export is going to grow, whereas in reality, in the recent times, the export has decreased because of the advanced economies coming under pressure. Now the third point, agricultural growth is expected to slow down in the second half. As per some analysts, this is not in sync with the healthy sowing rates and reservoir levels. Reservoir levels से अंदर पानी की कोई कमी नहीं है. Sowing of the seeds उन्होंने अच्छे से plant किया था seeds, मतलब they had actually come up with a proper timing. But then why is the agricultural growth going to slow down? Let us see. So as per some analysts, this is not in sync with the healthy sowing rates and reservoir levels. Fourth, the manufacturing sector, which was almost flat in the first half of the year, is expected to witness an uptick in the second half. It is difficult to reconcile this with the view that both domestic demand and exports are likely to remain subdued. Now, see what he is giving you. He is giving you the reasons of four. This is disintegrated data. उसने first paragraph में अपनी point रख दी that India will be one of the fastest growing economies in the world. Then he brings our attention to the data that is separate sectors, right? सबको अलग अलग कर दिया. First में उसने consumption की बात की और उसका reason दिया कि consumption कम क्यों है. Second, he talked about the exports growing, but then it doesn't seem likely because the exports have actually slowed down, right? Third point he says about the agricultural growth, what was expected to slow down, but then you don't know why, because there was healthy sowing rates and reservoir levels were also good. Fourth says the manufacturing sector, which was almost flat in the first half, is expected to witness an uptick. Uptick यानी बहुत अच्छा हो जाएगा manufacturing sector. पर ये कैसे होगा? So it is difficult to reconcile this with the view that both domestic demand and exports are likely to remain subdued. तो exports भी अगर कम रहेंगे, domestic demand भी कम रहेगा. हमने ये first वाली point में देखा था. So if the demand is reduced and the export is also reduced, then how is the manufacturing sector going to improve or flourish? So this becomes a contradiction sort of. So it is not likely to reconcile. Reconcile मतलब दोनों बातें fit नहीं होती हैं. Right? So they remain subdued. We can understand how subdued is decreased, which would in turn impact the industrial production. Definitely, what he's saying is if the consumption demand is reduced, if the exports are reduced, then how is the manufacturing sector going to improve? Right? It will not be able to do so. So, and of course, this is going to impact the industrial production. Now, fifth, public administration, defense, and other services, which largely connotes the government spending, is expected to remain more or less flat in the second half. So, the defense, the administration, and other services that require the government expenditure that is going to remain more or less flat. So this is odd considering that government consumption expenditure is pegged to grow at 7.2% during the period. Pegged to grow मतलब इसको decide तो नहीं है. It has been marked that yes, this is going to grow by 7.2%. Now, if they say that this government consumption expenditure is going to grow by 7.2%, then how can they say that this administration, defense, and other services, the expenditure is going to remain flat? Right. So again, you can see the author is stating a small point, the reasoning 1, 2, 3, 4, and giving a contra to it. ये ऐसे कैसे हो सकता है? तो ये mismatch हो रहा है. So the complete paragraph is actually giving you the pointers about a disaggregated data. Right? कि अगर हम इस data को अलग अलग कर देते हैं तो फिर the view is different now. Let's see. As the first advance, estimates suffer from data limitations. They are based only on 7 to 8 months of data. These are likely to change once more the data is available. 7 to 8 months का डेटा है ये बस. उसके बाद आगे और डेटा आएगा तो ये पूरा जो इक्वेशन है ये चेंज हो जाएगा. However, they do provide some sense of underlying momentum in economic activities and are useful in the context of the upcoming union budget. All this, whatever they have mentioned, right? It is only about 7 to 8 months data. More is yet to come. But from this also, what is indicated is the best part here that all this data shows that yes, they are going to be better. This activity, that there's a momentum in the economic activities, and this can also help them in the upcoming union budget. Soon to come. Now, the last budget had assumed a nominal GDP growth of 11.1%. However, as per the latest estimate, nominal GDP is expected to grow at a significantly higher pace of 15.4%. That means, again, that is an estimation expected to grow. Estimation हो गया, calculation हो गया. Along with trends in tax collections, as per which the government's revenues will surpass the budgeted targets by a significant margin, these growth estimates only increase the likelihood of the center meeting its budgeted fiscal deficit target for the year. The last is going to give you this is giving you the data plus the reasoning, right? And here it is going to give you the analysis. Let's see what is happening here. ये इसका बेस बन जाता है फर्स्ट टू लाइंस और लास्ट टू लाइंस उसका व्हाट इज द आउटकम how is the government going to benefit by this data that is being given. So it is this data, though partial only, not about the whole year, it is going to help them in the upcoming union budget. Then there's again a bit of data here, and then it estimates that whatever they are going to collect by through the taxes, the tax collections, that is going to increase and by a significant margin. And next, it was that whatever their target was to reduce the fiscal deficit, that is going to be achieved. Right? So the passage was not a very difficult one, but you could have understood it here. That India will be or will become the fastest growing economies in the world, but the NSO data has given us a few pointers to think. Okay, it has given us food to for thought, you can say. And whatever loopholes, whatever limitations there are, whatever cracks you can see there, they have to be addressed. Only then this data, this estimation will actually prove out to be better. Right now, let us see the words that we have come across. Not many words there are. Estimates, we've already seen that the whole passage was talking about will be in the future expected to grow. The estimates kya ho jayega? Something that is a well calculated, thought out process, and it is giving you those numbers. So approximation, calculated guesswork. Assessment is valuation or evaluation or calculations वही हो जाता है, appraisal हो जाता है. तो assessment report होता है ना, assessment card होता है, report card. तो evaluate भी करते हैं, valuation भी होता है कि आखिर इसकी कीमत क्या है. डिसएग्रीगेटेड हमने समझ लिया था, एग्रीगेट का मतलब होता है टोटल कर लेना, डिसएग्रीगेट का मतलब होता है उसे सेपरेट कर लेना. So separating it into small parts or units or components, whatever it is. Pent up energy, pent up anger, to you went out the pent up anger. That means pent up, जैसे होता है ना पेंट हाउस, तो पेंट हाउस में जाके बैठ जाते हैं लोग. So the pent up anger is the anger that is being accumulated and then you need to take it out, right? So that becomes an outrage then. So here pent up, whatever it is, so pent up feelings हो जाती हैं. तो ऐसी feelings जो कि अभी तक हमने रिलीज नहीं की हैं, तो हमारे दिमाग में, मन में, दिल में इकट्ठी होती जा रही है और फिर एकदम से हम भड़क उठते हैं. So that is the pent up anger, accumulated and hence not used or released. Lagged, was lagging behind. ठीक है. So lagging is to trail behind. Mainly, it is, you must have heard this word. Reconcile, reconciliatory statement of the bank. Reconcile is it doesn't match. ठीक है. तो reconcile करना होता है मतलब मैच कर लेना उसे. तो मैच अप कर लो, पैच अप कर लो, सेटल ऑन द प्रॉब्लम्स एंड टू रिपेयर द रिलेशंस, उसे कहते हैं टू रिकनसाइल. Subdued, subdued से हम SUB सब से we can understand because sub, सब डिविजन, सबटेरेनियन, सबमरीन. तो इस लेवल से नीचे होता है सब और लेवल के ऊपर होता है सुपर. This is the use of the prefix sub and super. So subdued is something that is somebody who is being suppressed, repressed, being submissive, being constrained, being restricted, being restrained. जिसके ऊपर कंट्रोल किया जाता है तो वो subdued हो जाता है. Pegged is to hang or to hold into position. इसका मतलब हमने इधर लास्ट में किया था. It has been pegged at say how much growth here 7.2% during the period. मतलब उसे ऐसे मार्क कर दिया है, फिक्स कर दिया है कि 7.2% तो होगा ही सही. ठीक है. एक्चुअली पेग वो कील होता है जहां पे यू नो यू वुड हैंग योर टॉवल्स और you would hang your clothes and all that. They are the pegs there in the wall. They are kept the hook type, right? So, not many difficult words here. Here we have 4 to 8 words. Somebody would find them easy, somebody would find them difficult. But then I still marked them and came up with the discussion. So, I hope you have understood this. Now, we'll meet tomorrow again. That's all for today. Thank you.